sure. There you go, Colin. You are
All right.
now going to be the host.
We are now in hosting mode. All right, let's bounce this over here. You should see the back of a ship here in about 30 seconds. Can I get a thumbs up? Can you see the back of a ship right now? Thumbs up. That also answers my question that therefore I guess you can hear me. So that's a double thumbs up. All right. Well, thank you so much, Fred, for the great intro. Really appreciate that. As Fred mentioned, my name is Colin Price with Royal Caribbean International, and I have Leanne Hill here with me. Both of us, we manage between basically BC to all the way to Manitoba. So we have a great region. We cover a lot of land. We do get the privilege of working with all these amazing travel partners here today. And so we're going to take you on a little bit of a tour of the Royal Caribbean brand. And we just thought that we would actually touch a little bit on the elephant in the room, the health and safety, touching on talking about our award-winning ships, the destinations that we cruise to, and a few of our private islands. So we're going to kind of give you a couple new updates and things that are going on. First off, health and safety is our priority number one. It always has been. That's a staple behind our company as well. It's amazing to see how smart technology is also being embraced. Both Leanne and myself were just recently on the Odyssey of the Seas, and simple things like when you're in the elevator, you don't even have to push the button anymore. Just your finger going about a half an inch out, and it recognizes what floor you're on, and you can light up. The one problem with that is you don't want to stand too close to the elevator, or you've just lit up the entire floor of all the stops that you're going on. But there's amazing technology that we're doing. We've been for 20 years, we've been using Purell for when you're entering onto the ship. And now we're actually building new ships with actually wash your hand stations as you enter the buffet area. So again, there's always a huge focus on how we can always improve, hearing guest feedback, and making sure that we're staying ahead of what mainland North America is doing for a minimum standard. We're always going above and beyond. Now, out of curiosity, how many people out here have cruised in general? Is there any hands in the air that have cruised in general? A few hands. How many people with hands in the air at this point love doing muster drill that first day of the cruise? I didn't see no hands at them. Was that thumbs down, right, Brian? So muster 2.0, this is phenomenal. We were working on this before COVID. Obviously, we've escalated it, made it a top priority. So you can actually do your muster drill up to 2 days prior to your cruise, even on the day of. So before you even get on the ship, you open up the app and you can actually go on, listen to the 7 short, 1 long, the horn, so you know what's going on. And it'll actually tell you where your muster station is. So now when you actually get on the ship, you're 75.
Colin, you're on mute.
Yes. Sorry, Colin.
I saw it pop up on my screen as I was talking. Did that? Okay. So did you catch the 75% part? You're on mute.
You might want to review that, Colin.
The whole thing?
Just go back about 15 seconds.
All right. So when you actually do your muster station drill online before getting onto the ship, so you can do it up to a couple days prior, and you actually listen to the alarm, 7 short, 1 long, before you actually get on the ship. Now, when you get on the ship, you have up until 4 o'clock to actually complete the final last little bit, and that's going past where your station is. So you don't need to race there at 4 o'clock with everybody else. You go at your leisure at 11:30, 12, whatever time you decide to walk past it. We'll have staff there. They'll scan your card, and that's your lifeboat drill complete. It is that easy. So for you guys that have cruised before, you're going to love this. For you that haven't cruised, well, you've just walked into an amazing treat, and this is what you're going to expect moving forward. But it creates no lines. It's easy. We've tried it ourselves, both Leanne and I. It was phenomenal. So these are a few of the changes that you're going to see moving forward with our brands. Now, we are 50 years bold right now. Some people like to use the word old. We like to use the word bold. So we've really grown over the last 50 years of all of our different classes of ships. And the one thing that remains constant across our brand is we really are quality meets energy. Now, we actually have all different classes, as you can kind of see. We've kind of listed them across here, and I'd be here all day and all night talking about each of them. Each of them are so special. Each of them have very unique itineraries. Today, I thought we'd kind of showcase a little bit of the Quantum and our Oasis class and a couple of the new ships and the new hardware at this point as well. So starting off with the Quantum class, these were designed as cold weather ships. And so we've got the Quantum in Asia, Anthem cruising out of New York and then back to Southampton. We've got the Ovation around Australia, then she'll come over and do Alaska, Spectrum based in Asia, and then the Odyssey, which we're going to talk about a few of those really unique itineraries as well. The Spectrum and the Odyssey, we kind of call the Ultra class inside of the Quantum class because it's got a couple extra little bells and whistles, and we're going to talk about that. Now, traditionally, a basketball court would be on the outer deck, for example, and because this is a cold weather ship, we actually put the basketball in court, inside. Now, I don't know about yourself, but me, I don't personally care to play basketball on my cruise vacation. However, there's some kids that do or some people that do. However, one of the most popular things I would say, probably on the age bracket of about 55 plus, is the bumper cars. So when we're not using it as a basketball court, we actually have it as bumper cars. It's used as a roller skating rink. There's all different events that we can use this space so we can reuse it over and over again. Above in the top section has been added this humongous sports bar. This is Leanne's. I think this is your favorite area on board the ship.
For all the football lovers out there, for sure.
Yeah. I found Leanne tucked away. There's a little VIP corner in the very back. So if you want to watch the big game with like 80 of your friends, you can book that little corner private for yourself as well. All right, taking you on a bit of a tour on any cruise ship you go on has multiple different restaurants on board. And I think all cruise lines do a fabulous job with the steakhouses and the Italian cuisine. One of them I just wanted to kind of showcase offhand was called Wonderland. It's this Alice in Wonderland, Mad Hatter kind of concept. Easiest way I can describe it, it's like you're dining in somebody else's dream. As you can see in the picture, it's not a very large restaurant. So this is why you'd want to pre-book something like this in advance. So that way, when you are on the ship, you can actually dine there. The guests that decide and think about, maybe I'll book it when I'm on board, unfortunately are going to get the reservations at like 9 o'clock on the day that nobody else really wanted. So it is important when you are booking a cruise that you would want to book these kind of things further in advance. We do have partnership with Jamie Oliver as well. So we have one of his restaurants on board. We also have Giovanni's Kitchen that's been a fan favorite. So depending on which ship, whether it be Oasis class or Quantum class, for example, you will find either Jamie's or Giovanni's Italian Kitchen. That's more that family style sharing, a really great place for lunch and dinner. Now, this is one of the lounges at the aft of the ship. This is called 270. This lounge actually costs more money than the first 2 Royal Caribbean ships combined. And it's hard to imagine how a lounge costs more money than 2 entire ships. Well, this lounge will transform throughout the day as well. So what we do is we use 8K projectors against that screen. And this nice little lounge that is in the day for having a coffee or sitting back and reading a bit of a quiet time becomes an event and becomes a show. And our performers will actually come out of the ceiling, or that little planter, I'll go back a screen, the little planter in front of you that you see, that will drop down and a guy with a saxophone will pop out and be playing, and you're in the show. It's really phenomenal to see how this technology is just embraced all throughout the ship. Now I'm going to jump over to our Oasis class ships, and our Oasis class ships are the largest ships in the world. It started off with the original Oasis class, her sister ship, the Allure. And then we took a bit of a pause, and that's when we created the Quantum class. And then from the Quantum class, we came back, the Harmony and Symphony came out. So the Harmony and Symphony had a few extra touches from the Quantum class applied onto it. And now the new Wonder has joined our family. I'm going to come back to Wonder in just a moment. What makes the Oasis class so special is this neighborhood concept. So we have 7 different neighborhoods because, for example, what Roger might be in the mood for might be completely different than what Nora might be in the mood for. So depending what you're looking for in your vacation experience, the Oasis class is really going to find that for you. So taking you on a little bit of a tour towards the front, this is the adult-only solarium area. There's a nice little restaurant tucked away there as well that you can kind of get that healthier cuisine. There's probably about 250 deck chairs all the way around over the 3 different floors. I would say on any given day, there's maybe 30 people up there on a day at sea. It's incredible, the space. It's very relaxing. We will do events out there as well in the night. And so we do actually use that as a venue in the evenings if need be. Now I kind of move over towards all our activities are. This is towards like the aft of the ship in the middle on the top deck as well, where we brought back our flow rider. You're going to find all in multiple pools and everything around this area as well. So instead of just one giant pool in the middle, you're going to find multiple pools around the ship. This is a great photo here where you can actually see the one photo on one side, or one pool on one side and one pool on another. Actually, a little bit of Central Park down below, and as well as balconies that are facing inwards. And again, we're going to come back to a little bit more of that in a second. Kids have their own dedicated area called Splashaway Bay. So they're really content. You're going to find multiple lifeguards at each one of the pools as well. You're going to find your mini golf, your zip lining, your rock climbing, loads of different activities. So again, it's finding what you're in the mood for. So it's a matter of finding out kind of what's for you. Maybe you want to try surfing. You've never tried it before. You can try out our flow rider, or you could go down on the knees and you could do the boogie board experience as well, which is always a lot of fun. Now, as I kind of continue through the neighborhoods, actually, I'm going to take you over to one of my favorite areas. This is called Central Park. Great place to actually just grab a coffee, sit. There's actually over 14,000 trees and plants in this area. One of my favorites, actually, one of the Jamie's is actually located in the middle area here. And I remember sitting there one day out front of Jamie's on the patio there, and there's 3 cello players playing Phantom of the Opera. And I'm just sitting there by myself thinking, where is everybody else at this time? It was such an incredible experience sitting in this area. There's multiple different restaurants. There's a little wine bar tucked away. So if you're looking for your quiet spot, this is a fabulous place in the evening to be on an outer deck without winds blowing your hair like crazy and sitting and relaxing. Now, where that little glass dome is actually that you see in the middle, there's actually a bar inside of that. And I'm going to show you where you can either end. I'll come back to this, what I mean, where I used to say start or end your trip at a bar, which sounds kind of interesting. So the Royal Promenade directly below, it's about 5 decks below. This is kind of the heart of the ship. And this is where you'll find like our pizzeria, an Irish pub, Latin nightclub, the gift shops. And this is the Rising Tide Bar, where it actually starts off on one floor and slowly raises all the way up and will take you up to Central Park. So your view kind of changes as you're just sitting there and having a cocktail or playing cards. Your view kind of changes as you're kind of going. The Sorrento's Pizzeria is very busy in the evenings, usually around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning when the bars are all kind of, everybody's getting out. This is kind of that evening snack time as well. There's dedicated karaoke bars. There's private room for karaoke if that is your thing as well. Now, actually, one thing I just kind of wanted to highlight as well is I did say that there were 7 neighborhoods, but actually, I'm going to come back to the 8th neighborhood in just a sec. There is an 8th neighborhood, but I want to quickly touch on the entertainment section as well. So we actually, on our Voyager class, so we actually have our Voyager class, Freedom class, then Oasis class. All 3 of those class ships all have an ice rink on board. So it's actually amazing on like an Oasis class ship where you're the largest ship in the world with the world's smallest Zamboni. These shows are phenomenal. It means you're not going to the same main show lounge at the front each night. You're going to a different venue around the ship for your entertainment. The figure skating show is amazing that they do. There's a neat little jazz club tucked around the corner. And then we actually do like real Broadway production shows like Mamma Mia, Cats, Hairspray, the full Broadway production show that you're going to see on board, and that is complimentary.
Just to touch on the entertainment too, I just wanted the entertainment because I found it an interesting fact today. But even with the skating, there was a U.S. Olympian that was in the last Olympics, and he started out skating on our ships, and now he's in the Olympics. So that was a cool fact. And then on the New Wonder, they were saying that the acrobatics that do all the diving and the shows at the in the Aqua Theater, there was 5 of them that were hired onto the Wonder are former Olympians as well. So the caliber of talent it's crazy. So anyways, I just wanted to throw that in there.
For one more thing, what team is all for the New Wonder as well? It's all, so the all-female team. Sorry about that, yeah. So that was the first usually, so they were looking for the best of the best, and they found that the Rising Stars on the Aqua Theater, where it was actually a whole female cast. It wasn't planned that way. It just, when they were looking for the best of the best, that's who it is. So thank you, Ann. Those are fabulous points. What was the other? There was also 2 twins that are like 18 on board or 19 on board that are, yeah. So crazy.
Yeah, 18 years old.
Yeah. The Adventure Ocean Club as well, and this is what's really fabulous, is that we are a multi-generational brand. And again, we want something for everybody. And so giving the kids all of their particular zone, let's be honest, the kids don't want to be where we are, and we don't want to be where they are. So it's great that they're basically broken up into all different age groups, and they've got all of their own entertainment, from like cooking classes to science classes, arts and crafts. Every one of our youth staff have a minimum 2-year university degree with childcare as well. So it's not like we're just hiring Joe Smith off the street to look after your children. And now the Wonder of the Seas. This actually offers an 8th neighborhood. I'm going to pass the mic back to Leanne here about the Wonder of the Seas.
So right now, the Wonder of the Seas, the first sailing is actually this Friday. We have our whole headquarters is basically on the ship tonight. I'm seeing all these live streams coming through on Facebook of all the new shows that are on there, and I think me and Colin are the only ones that aren't on the ship right now. But it's a stunning ship. Just like people's live pictures coming through, these are obviously the artist renderings, but the actual the pictures don't even do it justice. It's so nice. So this is our 8th neighborhood. This is our all suite neighborhood. This is for just suite guests. So it's going to be a very VIP exclusive area where you can just sit and relax. The pool area here sort of curves around the whole sort of back of the ship, but it has all these like really nice loungers in it. There's a splash pool there. There's a guy sitting there with a cocktail right now. That sort of just wraps around the whole area as well. And one of the things we had one of our royal genies on our call this morning that's on board right now. She's sort of the butler for the suites. And she was saying that this area is so big that you don't see anyone, because it's just, everybody has so much space. So if you want sort of to feel like you're on your own private yacht, this is, you definitely want to book into this suite neighborhood.
Put a few extra little teasers as well, just giving you an idea of what the Wonder looks like as well, with like the outer space. Didn't they say that this is the largest outdoor cinema as well that they've added onto the Wonder?
Oh, yeah. So if you want to watch movie under the
so
stars.
Yeah. This is our new restaurant, Mason Jar. It's that kind of Southern fried kind of feel as well. So like the hot new like chicken sandwich. It's actually been someone's job to go test chicken sandwiches throughout the US of who makes it the best, and then to basically make the best chicken sandwich possible. I'm like, wow, I really want that job. That sounds amazing. So.
And they also have they said there's another really cool, they have the bourbon milkshake, but they also have a drink called the peanut butter old fashioned, where you get a side of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I just thought that was kind of cool.
So awesome. And the last neighborhood is the Boardwalk. And this is kind of towards the after the ship. It's that kind of Coney Island experience. You can kind of see a big carousel there. As you kind of walk to the back, those little squiggly lines there, that's actually called the Ultimate Abyss. It's a dry side that starts off at the top of the ship and drops you all the way down to the bottom. And it'll actually bring you to the Aqua Theater. And Leanne kind of mentioned about 2 of the performers from the Aqua Theater. So this is where you'll find the Olympic divers diving from all the way up, basically above the anchor on the right-hand side, into this amazing pool. This is one of the best shows I think I've ever seen at sea, opposed to, like, of course, you've got your main theater with the main shows in the front, you got your ice rink, you've got this. So each day you're kind of going around to a different venue. But if you're looking for the best seats in the house for the Aqua Theater, where you can kind of see those balconies kind of all pitched along there, those are the best seats in the house. And the team here can definitely help get you booked in. I'll kind of give you what the tip of what you're looking for. You need to book a 2-bedroom Aqua Theater suite. We actually have 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom Aqua Theater suites. I'm not sure why these two are looking at each other. The show's going on behind them. But so this is a phenomenal way to see it. The balcony kind of wraps all the way around. It's really quite a large, spacious balcony. Being that it's in our top tier class, it actually includes your specialty dining, your gratuities, your beverage package. So if you want to have Jamie Oliver's Italian Kitchen served on your Aqua Theater patio, you absolutely can by your Royal Genie. You have a really nice, big, spacious living room inside. And actually, that kind of touching on a few more of our suites. We have all different suites of all different sizes. We have our inside rooms. Actually, really a fan favorite for our inside rooms is the top center. Those are inside staterooms with virtual balconies. That's an 85-inch TV hooked up to live cameras around the ship. So if we were cruising out of New York, you would see New York. As it's getting darker at night, it's getting darker at night. The Aqua Theater was located up in the top right. The bottom right is our Royal Loft Suite. And then actually our old chairman that was with Royal Caribbean had his grandchild on board, and he said, oh, I wish there was a slide in here. And that is how the Ultimate Family Suite was born. So this is actually can sleep 6 guests. There's 4 bunk beds that tuck a long way into the wall there. And then it can be put away in the daytime to give them more playroom and space. Then there's the parents' room. The TV pops out of the ceiling, then goes back away to give them more room. 3 bathrooms, full Royal Genie service. So that's a picture of your butler there. The Royal Genies are the only ones, the only staff on the entire ship that do not wear a name tag, because they only service the Royal Suite class. So the Ultimate Family Suite, you don't have to be a family to book it. Anybody can. The only problem with the Royal Suite class is there's only one of them. So, or sorry, the Ultimate Family Suite, there's only one of them. So trying to book it, you do need to book that further in advance.
That's the one thing too, with like, I just talking about multi-generational families. We've probably seen, I think Colin probably too in his territory, but a surge of multi-generational families booking this year, and particularly because there's probably been 2 years where we haven't been able to travel. Everyone wants to get together with their grandkids. Alaska especially is doing it's really popular with the multi-generational. I think because Vancouver it's an easy port to get to as well. But that's what Colin said, there's very limited availability for those bigger suites if you want the family to be together. So definitely booking sooner than later for those ones.
That's a great point, Leanne. Actually, I was talking to, I've seen a huge spike in Europe sales coming specifically actually from the island. And I was talking to them and they were saying they're booking so many river cruises, but they're finding a lot of people that are booking the river cruise. That is a bucket list item for them. The only thing bigger than the bucket list item is getting to see their grandkids that are back here on the mainland. So now they've started booking the Mediterranean cruise beforehand to take the family away, and then they stay on and then go and do their river cruise after. I thought, gosh, that's a clever idea. Please adopt me. I'd like to go on either of these trips, please. Actually, so Ships of Our Future, so the Odyssey has just come out. The Wonder of the Seas is actually starting, as Leanne just pointed out, we're doing a shakedown cruise as we speak. Our new Icon class is coming out. We'll know more about that in May. Each of these ships is $1 billion spend. So you can see we continue to invest into our future. However, we are still focusing on our older ships as well. Not to say that they're very old. There's still, some of these ships are only 10 years old, but we're investing into these ships at close to about $250 million into each of these. And we call it a reamp, because opposed to a regular dry dock where the carpet's just replaced, they're physically like ripping the gym out, moving it from one end of the ship and putting it at the other end of the ship. Like they're relocating restaurants, adding new little tiki bars and all these amazing slides and activities to do on board. So to see that added to the Oasis is amazing. The Mariner of the Seas absolutely looks stunning. She does a lot of shorter cruises. Both Leanne and I have seen a spike on the Navigator bookings, specifically because that ship is actually now cruising out of the Los Angeles area. It's great because she departs on a Friday. So if you're looking for a short weekend getaway, you can fly down on a Friday, obviously Air Canada, WestJet, easy flight down, Friday cruise, home back for Monday. If you are looking for a little bit of a longer cruise, you can do one of the 7 nights, goes down into a little bit more into Mexico. And the Navigator does look absolutely stunning. Now we do cruise all around the world, over 300 destinations. Leanne is going to talk about every single one of them right now. You ready, Leanne?
For the next 6 hours. Yeah.
So we do cruise to 6 different continents, 30 home ports, 2 of our private islands. We have a lot of amazing ships cruising in the Mediterranean for coming up for this summer. Odyssey of the Seas, one of our newest of our Quantum class, and the Wonder of the Seas. So she'll be the largest cruise ship in the world, also cruising the Mediterranean. So there's some phenomenal ships. Some of our smaller ships are also going to be cruising at that same time. Now, just to kind of highlight as well, we do have multiple different home ports, meaning you can start your cruise at any of these particular ports. We do also have quite a few cruises that will do an open jaw cruise. So maybe starting in Stockholm, but ending in Denmark, for example. Now, to highlight one particular itinerary, I'm just going to go into Rome, for example. The Odyssey of the Seas has, this is probably its most popular itinerary, the Greek Isles cruise. So it's doing this for pretty much most of the summer. It's a great way to see the Mediterranean on a ship like the Odyssey that has so much to offer and so many complementary activities to do while you are on board. Now, one really unique itinerary I just wanted to showcase for you, closer to the end of summer, right at Halloween. Actually, I love going on a Halloween cruise. Actually, I think that date was slightly different, wasn't it? Was it October? I think it's October 13th. I think I went a little dyslexic on that. It might be October 13th, this cruise.
Yeah, it's a different date. And then because there's a 13 night as well that's right after.
Yeah, that's correct. So October 13th is a 13-night cruise with an overnight in Haifa that is actually doing that particular cruise. So correct, my date is a little off on that. So it's October 13th, 13 nights, that Rome, overnighting in Jerusalem and down to Haifa. Rhodes, absolutely a stunning itinerary.
And that's the thing with that itinerary too. If you go back to it, there's variations of it. So depending on the date, I think there's 3 back-to-back dates in a row, but there's an overnight on the one in Jerusalem on this one. The other one might be an overnight in Athens. So it's essentially the same ports, but there's overnights in different ports too. So you can do whichever one suits you best.
Yeah, we've just kind of grabbed a few different itineraries. Obviously, we've got hundreds of different itineraries. Another one that's been really popular, cruising on the Anthem of the Seas. So it's a sister ship to the Quantum class, so our most tech-savvy ship in the world. Round trip out of Southampton, September 4th, just doing a really neat little from the UK going down into France and Spain. You can go visit the Guggenheim Museum. There's amazing different tours that you can do on this particular voyage. But I just wanted to kind of highlight for you as well the different prices that you're going to notice. Now, this particular voyage, I looked up the rate and it was in US dollars, this particular cruise. But if you were to go onto the Royal Caribbean website and have a look, you're going to see it starts at about 1,000 US Canadian tax, or sorry, 1,000 US, including all taxes. Obviously, Team Expedia can price this in whether it be US or Canadian. I just happened to just notice this one in US. Ocean view starting at about 1,500 and a balcony for only a couple dollars more. So no point in doing an ocean view, might as well do a balcony. But Expedia does a fabulous job of when our cruises first come out, Expedia will actually block off the space and they actually will lock in a better rate, because as we get closer to dates, we at Royal Caribbean will continue, the rates will get higher and higher and higher as we get closer and closer and closer. However, the team has certain cruises and certain itineraries where you're going to find these massive price advantages. And so, for example, the balcony stateroom is almost 50% less when you are booking with Expedia Cruises and supporting a local business and working with a local expert. So I think this is really exciting to see. I actually did put a little star on next to that inside, because that inside room is one of those inside rooms with a virtual balcony. So it's kind of funny that the virtual balcony price point is actually more expensive than the ocean view. So you have a better price point than what even an ocean view is. That's really fabulous to see. Now we will talk, Leanne's going to talk about all the specialty dining and spas that she's giving away. This is all on Leanne, I think I heard.
It's all a gift from me. Actually, well, I just want to talk that itinerary that Colin just had up. The week before it, there's August 28th to September 4th. It's sailing in Norway. I know because I'm on that one. But if you wanted to do a Norway and then a Spain and France, make it a 14 night, because I know sometimes going to Europe for 7 nights, it's a long haul. There's an option to do back-to-back sailings in completely different ports, but stay on the same ship. So just an FYI.
Yeah, why don't you tell us more about some back-to-backs right now?
As Colin knows, I love talking about these ones because they're my favorite. Pretty much all on my bucket list, all these places. But yeah, so the Jewel of the Seas has these amazing 12-night itineraries. They're all round trip out of Amsterdam. So the first one you'll see, it leaves on June 8th, and you'll see the one that's in the Iceland one, the third one over, it comes back July 14th. These are consecutive dates. You'll see that they all line up to each other. So you can do these itineraries individually, or you can do them back to back. So you can either do a 12-night, or you can extend this into a 36-night vacation. But I don't think you even overlap any of the ports. Like, I think they're all separate itineraries, which is fantastic, because a lot of times when you do back to back, you sometimes do overlap. The cool thing about these two, there is some overnight. So on the first one, you do overnight in Dublin, Ireland. And on the second one, you overnight in 2 places in Iceland. So it's a great opportunity to obviously cruise, but to just have more time in port as well. To like obviously Reykjavik and Dublin are obviously high places on people's bucket lists to go. So, and you can see, as you can see, they're very, very port intensive as well. So really fantastic vacation.
Can make it a little further too, as Leanne was saying, where you're not really doubling up. But right now you do double up a little bit on Amsterdam, but that's Amsterdam is such a fabulous port. But once you continue from there, the cruises after that will actually continue all the way down, starting in Barcelona, all the way down. So you can actually have an open jaw cruise on those itineraries as well.
Now, actually, there's 5 of them that you can do together.
Yeah.
If you want. Yeah.
So while Leanne, so out of curiosity, who wants to join Leanne on these 3 cruises? Do we get a couple hands up? Anybody want to go on those 3 cruises? All right. So I've got a bit of space remaining on the cruise that I want to go on then. So let me know if you want to join Leanne on her 3 cruises, or if you want to come on my 1 cruise, okay? So the 1 cruise I'm looking for is called the Ultimate World Cruise. It's only 274 days. So it's just a short little getaway. Just pack your weekender. 7 continents, 60 countries, 150 destinations, 57 new home ports, 4 expeditions, and 11 wonders of the world to see. So this is departing December 10th of 2023, going all the way into 2024. Now, it has been sold for the last month or 2 as 1 consecutive segment. It is broken into 4 voyages. It is open now where you can book any of these particular voyages as well. So if you wanted to do just 64 nights or 64 and then the back-to-back adding another 87 nights, you absolutely can do that as well. So you can see this really is, I think we're actually slowly changing the way the wording from a bucket list item to a to-do list item, because I think we all missed out on the last 2 years of travel and we're ready to do it now. So this is on the to-do list moving forward. So 11 wonders of the world that you are going to get to see on this amazing voyage. And of course, what's included. So when you are doing the world cruise, you're looking your beverage package, your gratuities, your internet. I think the most valuable part though is the washing, the wash and the laundry. I want to go on this just so I don't have to do laundry for an entire year. That sounds fabulous. And then again, since we do have Voom, so if anybody is working and you're working remotely, you can just throw your house onto Airbnb and you can work remotely from the ship here. You'll be making money to cruise on this particular voyage. Now, if you are a Crown and Anchor Society member, the shore excursions are actually going to be included. This is a huge value. It's almost $7,500 in value. So if you're not a Crown and Anchor Society member yet, you could do a short little 10, 14 days in a junior suite before this cruise this year, and then you would get that value on your world cruise for later in December. Now, the Serenade, that is the Serenade of the Seas that is doing that particular voyage. But if you want to go down and you want to test it out and check out the ship beforehand, you want to do a little pre-cruise, you could do that on a little short 5-night cruise, a little bit closer to home. That's LA up to Vancouver on the Serenade of the Seas. That's a short little 5-night cruise. We also have what's very popular cruising out of Vancouver is the Vancouver to Honolulu cruise, Radiance of the Seas, 23rd of September, 11 nights. Now we do have multiple other ships. We have a couple Quantum class ships that are doing it as well. And there's some amazing Expedia exclusive rates on these voyages that I'm showing you. Now, actually a little bit closer to home as well, cruising up to Alaska, we actually have a few different options. We've actually got 4 ships that are going to be actually cruising Alaska in 2022. We have 2 of our Quantum class ships and 2 of our Radiance class ships. Now the Quantum class ships are going to be cruising out of Seattle. These are the ones with the giant with North Star. They'll take you up, give you a 360-degree panoramic view, 270 feet in the air. It's absolutely stunning, breathtaking way to see the glaciers kind of up close. If you are looking for the convenience and you want to stay on ships that are out of Vancouver versus cruising out of Seattle, the Radiance is one of the best ways that you can truly see Alaska doing the northbound or southbound cruise, where you can get up and see Denali, see the national parks. Or if you are looking for the convenience, you just want to get on the ship in Vancouver and get off the ship in Vancouver, the Serenade is also doing that. So you could do a warm-up cruise from LA up to Vancouver, do the cruise to Alaska, and then hop on and go do the world cruise all on this ship. It's your new home, basically. Now, one of the other real popular cruises that we saw last year in 2021 from especially the Canadian market was on the Grandeur of the Seas doing these particular voyages. In 2022, it's going to be the Rhapsody, and they're doing 7-night, 7-island cruises. So every day is a different island. You're going to need a vacation at the end of this vacation. What I would recommend, again, speaking with the team at Expedia, they can obviously pre-arrange like an all-inclusive for you for a few days in advance. So that way you can do that before you actually get on the cruise. So there is a 7-day Southern, there's a 7-day, there's an Eastern as well, and then the 14-day Ultimate Cruise. I think the 14-day Ultimate Cruise has 12 ports on the 14-day cruise. It is really popular to go flying Vancouver, Toronto, dropping straight down into Barbados, because from Toronto down, that's a direct flight on Air Canada Dreamliner. So a very, very popular flight.
Colin,
yeah.
I have heard some people who've been to the Caribbean a couple of times are not afraid to stay on the ship on a port day as well. This is true, yes?
On the Harmony, did not get off the ship once during the cruise, and I happily sat by the pool. I had a drink package and I enjoyed the pool while I did. I enjoyed all the activities while everybody else was gone. The ships really are their own destinations. There's so much to do on board that, yeah, if there's a port that you've been to before and you're like, doesn't really matter to me, absolutely, you can just stay on board and be very well entertained. Great point, Fred. Now, Oasis of the Seas, I don't know, this might be a little column A and a little column B. This is a New Year's cruise. What's so popular about this? Starting out of Miami, we actually are investing in the ports that we go to as well. This is our new home port. It's $1 billion spend. This is up and running. This now reduces our average boarding time to get on board the ship. The average boarding time now to get onto like an Oasis class ship out of Miami, for example, is 14 minutes from taxi to stateroom. So getting out of your taxi, giving your bags to the porter, going through security, getting on the ship, it's 14 minutes. It doesn't make sense on how. You're like, how is it? And simple things like you don't need to pick up a room key anymore. That's actually on board. So once you're scanned past security and you're all checked, you're already pre-checked in, you can just go to your room and your room key is waiting for you at your room. You just pick up your key, tap the door opens. It's so simple. It's kind of hard to believe it took us 50 years to figure this move out. But again, we're using a lot of smart technology to our advantage to really expedite that boarding time. So cruising out of Miami, we head down to Labadee. Now, Labadee is one of our original private islands. And what made Labadee so special is the fact that it has a real dock. Many times, a lot of other islands, like I'll use our other island, like Coco Cay, when it didn't have a real pier there, a lot of times when there was high waves and hitting or high winds, it was unsafe for us to lower our tenders for our guests to get off board. But again, safety is priority number one. Therefore, we would skip going to Coco Cay and we would go to like Costa Maya or another destination where we could physically dock. So having a dock in Labadee made the world of difference. Now, this actually was the original island of thrill versus chill. So we've got the quad zip lining over the Cay. You got a roller coaster throughout the jungle. And then on the other side, you've got all these beautiful tucked away beaches, cabanas. So if you're just looking to sit and relax, you could do that here in Labadee. This is actually a little background picture of Central Park on the ship, another great area of relaxing. Cruise down to San Juan, Old Town, wonderful just walking around. We do have a late sail there as well, so you can hit the casino if you want at the end of the port. And then we head over to St. Thomas. One of my favorite things in St. Thomas actually to do is to leave St. Thomas once I arrive there. I actually like to get on the little ferry, head over to St. John to Trunk Bay. That's just a picture of what Trunk Bay looks like. Stunning little beach as well. It's one of my favorite beaches in the world. And then we head over to Coco Cay. Now, I mentioned about Coco Cay not having a dock before. We've recently invested $250 million into Coco Cay to transform it to becoming the perfect day. So you can see one of the things right off the bat is the fact that it has a real dock now. Also, between where it says perfect day and Coco Cay, that giant red thing that you see there, that is the tallest water slide in all of North America. Now, out of curiosity, when you're looking on a vacation, are you looking for thrill or do you like to chill? Put your hand up in the air if you're looking for thrill and lots of activities to do. Brian's in for the activities. Fred's in for activities. Who wants just to chill? You just want to sit and relax. That's all the other hands. All right, that's good. So I'm going to take you on a little tour. There's a third option out there, and I'm now the third option. There might be a few of you that are joining me on the third option. So the pink section is all the thrill side of the island. The blue section is all the chill side, or sorry, now it's reversed on my colors. This one, the pink's all the chill side, the blue is kind of the thrill side of it. So there's lots of great areas around, starting with the largest freshwater pool in all of the Caribbean. If you have a drink package on the ship, your drink package works on the island. If you have an internet package on the ship, your internet package works on the island. Up in the back, you'll see Up and Away. That's a hot air balloon ride. That'll take you all the way up into the air, gives you a stunning panoramic view of the entire island. And on the other side, we've got what's called Cocoa Beach Club. Maybe you wanna kind of up your perfect day to the next level. Well, Cocoa Beach Club, you can do that. We have our overwater bungalow section. We actually have a private restaurant over here that serves like steak, lobster, grouper. Leanne, which one did we get to hang out again? Was it number 2 or 12 or whatever?
Number 6.
This one right here, right?
6.
Yeah. Leanne and
I'll
I were
never
very
forget
lucky.
it.
Yeah, back in November, we were both very, very lucky to sit over here. I don't know if you can see me wiggling my mouse here, but one of the best cabanas I think also tucked away is actually just over here on the corner of the tree line, because you're right near the infinity pool. But it's amazing, the guys that work out on the overwater bungalows, they ride out bikes there to bring you food and drinks or whatever you need. So you kind of got your own kind of private butler service for the day. It's a great way to relax, and it's kind of like Tahiti meets Vegas. So you're in an overwater bungalow like Tahiti, but it's kind of like you've got a cabana by the pool like you would in Vegas, for example. And then Leanne was, you didn't make it out here, did you? To the
I swam over there.
You said it's too cold though, right?
Yeah, it's way too cold.
That's a swim out bar. Now, I saw there was a few hands that wanted to go in for the thrill side of things. So this is Thrill Water Parks. This is the tallest water slide in all of the world, or all of North America. You've got zip lining, you got your Up and Away. Honestly, I have to admit that water slide did scare me half to death. It was a fun experience. The one that's actually even scarier, this one over here, I don't know if you can see my mouse moving around over here. I'm gonna take a little bit of a closer look at that. There is 16 different water slides, so all different activities. There it is on the right. It doesn't look that scary in that picture, but you've come down this drop, so you're with 3 or 4 friends and you're on the one tube. And Leanne had a really amazing talent of not being able to face forward going down. Every time we went down, her back was to it.
5 times in a row, backwards.
Yeah, which is absolutely terrifying as you drop down backwards. So that was a lot of fun, the slingshot water slide. And then it takes you past as you're walking past. This is a great place just to kind of wet your feet, cool down a little bit. This is the largest wave pool in the Caribbean, 14 minutes on, 14 minutes off, but the waves kind of go on and off. Zip lining through, there's 3 different zip lines around the island. So if you've never tried zip lining in your life, you're like, I want to try that, you could do that here. One of them will go through this water sprinkler. So if you don't want to get wet, you'll go on the other zip line. And I mentioned there was a third option there for your perfect day. And this is where I would be now. I have a 3-year-old. So taking him into this area and towards Captain Jill's Galleon is really the place to be. I FaceTimed him while I was with Leanne down there. I was like, hey, Jax, you want to come down, play on the pirate ship? And oh my gosh, the smile on this kid's face, ear to ear, just saying you wanted to be there. I now have promised my 3-year-old that he's going to go play on a pirate ship on a private island. And so multiple different restaurants located all the way around the island. You pick it, we have it. So that's the Oasis of the Seas doing a New Year's cruise from Miami, going to Perfect Day into Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, back to Coco Cay, just highlighting a few of our price points. Again, this was in Canadian dollars, all taxes in, starts at about 2,000 Canadian, 21.85, so only a couple $100 more for a balcony stateroom. Getting a balcony obviously makes the world of difference. Just simple things like ordering room service. You could sit on your balcony as you're sailing into Labadee, sipping your mimosa, eating your breakfast, versus room service on in your inside room. So I would always go for the balcony for a couple dollars more. But Team Expedia has done fabulous again, locking in, saving you dollars across the board. So you can see what we're selling an inside stateroom is pretty much the same price that you can get a balcony stateroom with the team. All right, Leanne, I'm going to pass you over. You love talking about promotions and everything that you're giving away today.
My presents to you. So we have a bunch of March promotions. So I'm saying to any of you guys that want to book this month, because it's probably the most you're going to get the most bang for your buck with these promotions. So our standard March promotion that's running from March 1st to 31st, 30% off all guests sailing on or after April 1st. And then for anyone sailing on a 2022 itinerary, you're going to earn up an extra $150 instant savings for sailing this year. Plus, any of you guys out there that have any future cruise credits, we're offering a kicker. So redeem your FTC this month and you'll receive a $100 onboard credit on top of the promo. And then for any Crown and Anchor, people that have sailed with us before, they can earn an additional bonus of $50 onboard credit. So I feel like Oprah here. Like I'm just giving onboard credits away.
Yep.
And that's not all. That's just the start.
You got more? What else can you give us?
I got more.
It's coming. I'm clicking the button. There we go.
It's going to slide in from the right. Oh, there it is. Okay. Cool. So our Royal Adventure sale begins. So this is an exclusive Expedia sale. So you have to book with an Expedia office to get this sale. But if you book between March 7th and 17th for any sailings from July 1st to December 15th of this year, you'll also get all these extra perks. So book a balcony 5+ night sailing, get a complimentary special dining for 2 and a $75 onboard credit. If you book a balcony 6 nights or longer, you get a complimentary specialty dining for 2, $75 onboard credit, and 1 complimentary spa treatment. So definitely have a think of itineraries, ships, sailings that you want to do, and reach out to your travel advisor between March 7th and 17th to get these trips booked. We also have another promo on top of this. This one runs from March 10 to 17, so you might want to wait till March 10 to book. But you'll also earn extra onboard credit for booking suites and balconies and interior and ocean view as well. So for all these, I know it sounds really, really complicated, but we are giving you a lot, but you have to reach out to your advisor and they will be able to fill you in on all the good stuff that you're going to get. And then, you want me to talk about Cruise with Confidence? And then we have our Cruise with Cruise with Confidence. So this is just giving you guys the ability, the flexibility, where you don't have to feel like you're locking yourselves in, and if something happens, you can't cancel or get your money back, or we'll give you a future cruise credit. So basically what it is if you book and for any reason, you have a hair appointment even, you can cancel up to 48 hours prior, and we will give you a future cruise credit to use towards a later sailing. So again, there's no harm in booking now because we are going to be flexible with you moving your departures.
So hopefully that was a quick little insight. We talked a bit about our health and safety, our award-winning ships, our destinations, our private islands. One thing that really shares on the recent, at the end of the year in November, they just finished all the recent awards. And for the 19th consecutive year, we took home the best cruise line in the Caribbean, best cruise line from 2017 to 2021 on entertainment. The Symphony of the Seas actually won the best cruise ship overall, which is huge because there's a lot of amazing hardware sailing as we speak. So to win that is such an honor. And best cruise line overall for 19 consecutive years. So again, we have all different ships of all different sizes all around the world. It's a matter of finding what works for you. What we are seeing, like Leanne and Fred mentioned earlier, we're seeing more families traveling together ever. That seems to be the new kind of bucket list item, is traveling together, seeing the world and kind of creating those memories. So hopefully you enjoyed our little tour of our brand, and I'm going to pass the mic back to Mr. Mercer here.
Thank you, Colin. Goodness, you guys did such a great job. I was writing down notes of all the different things. We've gone from the fleet size and the different sister ships to help break it down. Then we're into itineraries and world cruise itineraries and 7 nights, the whole gamut, pricing. You talked about multi-generational cruising. You had pretty much your safety factors in there, like everything was in there. That was a phenomenal presentation. I'm just checking right now in the chat box to see if there's any questions that came in. I didn't see any throughout. I just want to do one quick check if you can bear with me. Maureen was asking about the stops in Norway, but then she did see them on the screen afterwards. I think that's when you were talking, Leanne, about your 12 nighters there that you enjoyed?
14 nights, yeah. Yeah, you can do longer ones in Norway as well. And then there is a lot of 7 nights. There's a ton of options. There's some that do a little bit of Norway and then something else if you don't want to do full Norway. So again, like you said, there's plenty to choose from.
Good, great.
It's hard. Like there's so many. I'm like, I don't know what to do either. So
I will ask you this. Are you seeing from some of the recent booking patterns coming in, is Iceland predicted to be another great place? It was just pre-COVID. It was really, really a popular destination for many people. Is it again?
Yeah. I did an Iceland trip way back when Iceland Air first started doing flights out of Seattle. And I have to admit, I put that in one of my top 3 vacation experiences ever. It was phenomenal. You have to dress for all 4 weathers and you will go through them all in 15 minutes. It'll be sunny, then it'll be hailing, it'll be back to rain, it'll be back to sunny, back to snow. But the
it's like driving on the Coquihalla.
But it really is such a stunning from the black sand. You just cannot take a bad photo. People are super friendly, and that's what's so special. We actually have some other Leanne, what's the one in the new Greenland one that was coming out too? Greenland, Iceland.
There's like in 2022 we have the Iceland Greenland one, and it's been really popular. It's booking well. I don't know if it's almost sold out now. We can have a look, but there is one for 2023 coming. It's a September. I think it's a September 15 or 23rd sailing, and it's actually going from New York. So, but that one's not Iceland. That one's pure Greenland. It's 3 stops in Greenland. So, but it's New York round trip, and it's Greenland. And there's only one departure date on that one. It's September 2023. But I feel like that one's going to be a really popular sailing as well. So definitely jump on that if you're interested in Greenland.
Well, that's good to know. Colin, you were always keen on airfares and whatnot. Have you seen anything in and out of New York again, like you used to be able to see and share with us, or no?
Yeah, actually, I was looking just recently because one of my other favorite itineraries, especially out of the New York areas, I love cruising to Bermuda. I think Bermuda is such a great gem. Knowing that most of our ships do like a triple overnight down in Bermuda, it's a great way to do it. So yeah, Air Canada flies the Dreamliner, which is a great big plane, flies at a slightly lower altitude, so you don't feel exhausted when you get off the flight. So I've always been a big fan of that particular flight. But yeah, we've got quite a few ships cruising. Actually, Oasis is cruising out of New York. Adventure, Mariner is cruising actually out of Port Canaveral, doing down to Bermuda as well. So there's quite a few.
The Mariner, actually, now you say the Mariner, it's doing the 2 nights, overnights in Bermuda, and the price point on that one is really good. It's an 8-night sailing. So again, another good option. There's so many.
That was like in May and June, I think. Yeah, there really is like hundreds of itineraries. So we just kind of grabbed a few to kind of showcase and talk about today. But yeah, there's some great prices to start out in New York, and obviously your team knows New York inside and out, so it can help sort out hotels and all those activities. So
perfect. Well, wow, that's fabulous. I knew you'd have a little bit more information on those. As you can see, everybody, there's so many choices from a Royal Caribbean's perspective. You know, whether you're doing multi-gen or whether you're just cruising yourself to rejuvenate, relax, get away, you can create memories anywhere. This is a great month to, if you're thinking about planning to book something, or if you're at your planning stages, you can also move quickly into the booking stages. If you're ready to book, then talk to your cruise consultant at whichever office that you're connected with. With that, I do want to say thank you to Colin and Leanne for sharing your expertise from the brand's perspective. Thank you so much. By the way, we have a working relationship with them. So if there's any question you didn't get answered tonight and you want to ask, we'll be able to go directly back to them afterwards. And they are always so helpful. We look forward to seeing you both in person at some point soon in an event. That'll be great. And with that, I'm going to thank everybody else for carving some time out for us again tonight. And I hope you got what you needed to from here. And if you didn't, you just ask your cruise consultant or myself, and we'll make sure we get it for you. So thanks, everybody.